Hi, it's Dennis Daly. During the early 1950s, listeners to CBS Radio were treated to nearly 120 episodes of one of the best detective shows of all time. So I'm focusing in on the adventures of Philip Marlowe. In the golden days of radio, sponsors owned their time slot. But what did they do during the summer when the major star went on vacation? This was in the days before repeats. Well, one summer, the Rinso Company gave a detective drama a chance to fill in for Amos and Andy. That's why we have that great series starring Chester Morris. In the summer of 1947, Lever Brothers, that had owned the time Bob Hope had every week and was using its time to promote Pepsodent toothpaste, Lever Brothers decided to try a detective drama. The famous character of Philip Marlowe had been on movies and in novels for years. They gave a young MGM actor Van Heflin a chance to play Marlowe during the summer, those 13 weeks. So back now to the summer of 1947 and the premiere episode of The Adventures of Philip Marlowe, at that time, played by Van Heflin on NBC.
For the safety of your smile, use Pepsodent twice a day. See your dentist twice a year. Lever Brothers Company presents the Pepsodent program, The Adventures of Philip Marlowe, starring Van Heflin. Pepsodent presents Philip Marlowe, Hollywood's famous private detective created by Raymond Chandler. Philip Marlowe, tough, cynical private eye of Murder My Sweet, the sardonic, case-hardened detective of The Brasher Doubloon, The Lady in the Lake, and The Big Sleep. You've seen him in action in all of those top-flight mystery pictures. Now, in order that you may continue to enjoy this exciting mystery series, Pepsodent brings you The Adventures of Philip Marlowe on the air with a cast of noted radio players, and starring MGM's brilliant and dynamic young actor, Van Heflin. Now, families all over America have named their favorite toothpaste. New Pepsodent with Irium. New fresh-tasting Pepsodent with a new, cool, minty flavor. It's the 3-to-1 favorite over all other toothpastes.
It's true. With families all over America, new Pepsodent is the favorite 3-to-1.
Families from coast to coast recently compared new Pepsodent with other toothpastes at home. They preferred new Pepsodent by an overwhelming average of 3-to-1 over all other brands they tried. These families, 3-to-1, said new Pepsodent tastes better, makes breath cleaner, makes teeth brighter.
Yes, families 3-to-1 say new Pepsodent tastes better, makes breath cleaner, makes teeth brighter.
Get new Pepsodent toothpaste for your family right away.
There was a rough desert wind blowing into Los Angeles that evening. It was one of those hot, dry Santa Anas that come down through the mountain passes and curl your hair, make your nerves jump and your skin itch. On nights like that, every booze party ends up in a fight, and meek little housewives feel the edge of a carving knife and study their husbands' necks. Anything can happen when a Santa Ana blows in from the desert. I closed up my office early. I got tired of reading Philip Marlowe, private investigator, backwards on the ground glass of my office door. So I opened the door and closed it from the outside and locked it and went out to get a beer before I went up to my apartment.
Fill her up again, Mr. Marlin?
Marlowe.
Marlowe.
Marlin is a fish.
Yeah, I know.
Hey, you bartender. Come in on the ride.
Drunk again. What'd you expect in this business? Autograph hounds?
Make it snappy, yeah?
Be right with you, sport. I got to draw this man a beer. Crying out loud, these stumble bumps have come in here.
You got another customer, Bacchus?
Hey, Bud. You seen a lady in here lately?
A lady?
Tall, good-looking, brown hair, a print bolero jacket, and a blue silk dress.
No, sir.
No, sir.
Nobody like that's been in.
All right, straight scotch, fast. I left my engine running out there.
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
This slick-looking, sarcastic guy stepped up to the bar and drank his scotch whole. And he stopped. The drunk was grinning at him. And then, without changing his grin, the drunk swept a gun from somewhere so fast it was just a blur coming out. Made a couple of hard snaps, and a little smoke curled. Very little.
All right, you other guys. Don't move. So long, Waldo. All right, don't move, you two. Poor Waldo. But I made his nose bleed. So long, boys. Drink up.
All right, get on that phone, kid. I'll get his license number.
Holy smoke. Holy smoke.
Not too late. Drove away with this dead guy's car.
Maybe he ain't dead.
He's dead, all right. Where's your phone? This is for the police. The prowl car boys were there in about 5 minutes. Waldo was out of business, all right. And nothing in his pockets told who he was, but he had about $700 on him. I told the cops what I knew, including about Waldo's tall, brown-haired pretty girl in the bolero jacket. It was about 9 o'clock when I stepped out of the elevator in my apartment house and almost walked right into a tall, brown-haired pretty girl in a bolero jacket, waiting for the elevator on my floor.
Oh, excuse me.
Just a minute, lady.
I said excuse me. I'm in a hurry. Now, if you'll be good enough
Look,
to
you
step
better
out...
not go outside in those clothes.
Just what do you mean by telling me what?
This isn't a make. You're in trouble.
Trouble?
Yeah, the cops are looking for you in those clothes.
But I haven't done anything that...
I'm in room 41 across the hall now. I never collected an etching in my life.
All right, I'll go with you. I'll go.
I got to my room and rustled up some scotch and soda and brought the girl her glass. She had a small automatic in her hand. It jumped up at me, and her eyes were full of panic. I put down both glasses on the table slowly so that I wouldn't be misunderstood. Look, sister, maybe this wind has got you crazy, too.
Don't move. Be careful, don't move.
A man just got shot in a bar down the street. Before he got it, he'd been asking about a tall, pretty girl with a bolero jacket, like yours.
What did he look like, this man?
Tall, 5'11", slim, dark brown eyes with a lot of glitter, dark suit, white handkerchief in the breast pocket. And he must have seen you earlier tonight to know how you were dressed. Am I getting anywhere?
He used to be my chauffeur.
You had an appointment with him, didn't you?
Why?
Listen, he asked for you, didn't he?
Yes, I had an appointment with him. He'd stolen something from me when he left 3 days ago. I was going to buy it back from him.
Why didn't you tell the police?
I couldn't tell them.
It was valuable, wasn't it? Valuable enough for Waldo to steal?
$15,000.
Oh, it's peanuts.
It wasn't the value. It meant something to me. The man I loved gave it to me, and now he's dead. He was a flyer shot down over Germany. I'll go back and tell my husband that. He probably hired you.
He did? How much is he paying me? And, where is this husband of yours?
He's at a meeting.
This late at night?
He's a very important man. He's a hydroelectric engineer. I'll have you know that my husband is one of...
Skip it. I'll take him out to lunch sometime and have him tell me himself. And about Waldo, whatever he had on you is dead stuck now, like Waldo himself.
He's dead. Waldo's dead?
Yes, sister, he's dead. Dead, dead, dead. Lady, he is dead.
Oh.
Now scream and I'll give you 2 black eyes.
I'm not going to scream. Who will that be?
There's a dressing room behind that door. Right there. Now, don't argue with me. Do it.
It's all right.
And I went to the door, making a loud, yawning sound. The backs of my hands were wet. I opened the door. Without a gun, that was a mistake. I certainly knew the gun I was looking into, a .22 target automatic that had already killed one man that night. And I knew the bald head and the flat, shiny eyes and the face like a poisonous lizard. Baldy put the muzzle of his gun lightly against my throat. I backed into the room, and Baldy kicked the door shut.
You alone?
Look for yourself.
I'm asking, not looking.
I'm alone.
You and that dumb bartender saw me dust off Waldo.
What did Waldo do to you?
Who's asking?
Just making conversation.
He stooled on me on a bank job we did together. Got me 4 years in Michigan pen. How is he?
Dead.
I'm still good, drunk or sober. Tell me why I came here, pal.
You heard the barkeeper and me talking. I told him my name, where I lived.
That's how, pal. I said why.
Skip it. The hangman won't ask you to guess why he's there.
Oh, you're pretty tough at that, ain't you? But you're slamming off, pal.
All right, but you could get that gun out of my neck and try somewhere else.
Oh, yeah, sure. Is this better? This suit you all right?
Just so it isn't my neck.
Save when, pal? It's your party.
I leaned against the gun. The door of the dressing room showed a crack of darkness. The crack widened. I began to shake a little. The girl came quietly into the room, but there was white all around her iris. She was scared. She had her gun in her hand, but I was sorry for her. Dead sorry. She'd try to make the door scream either way. It'd be curtains for both of us.
You scared, mister? You worried about any little thing?
I couldn't talk. The girl floated in the air somewhere behind Baldy, and her horrified face was drifting toward us. My mouth was as cold and dry as yesterday's toast.
Well, kid, how's it feel? You ready yet? Go on, say the word.
Well, don't take all night about it if you're going to do something about it.
Why not, pal? I like this.
Well, suppose I yell.
Go ahead, yell. Go ahead.
Put up your hands!
Hey, look!
Oh,
Thanks, sister. Thanks. That buys me. Everything I have is yours now and forever.
is he dead?
You flatter me no end, lady. I only punched him. All right, now get out of here while I call the cops down on this killer.
Yes. Good night. Good
Hey,
night.
wait. Leave that bolero jacket here. It marks you for the cops.
Oh, yes, here.
Okay. See you again?
Why?
Oh, I don't know. No, I guess not. After all, who am I to be the rival of a dead flyer? I'll see that the police get Jesse James here. Good night, lady. Yeah? You mean me?
Yes, please.
Oh, you. Again, huh?
Get in. I must talk to you.
You want to know what happened at headquarters, huh?
Yes.
Well, I went down there with the law and gave them the story. I left you out of it.
Oh, thank you.
You saved my life, so no one knows a thing about you. Well, incidentally, neither do I.
Well, my name is Mrs. Frank Bosserly. 212 Fremont Place, Olympia 24596. Is that what you want?
I guess so.
Well, there it is.
Now, why did you really come back?
I wanted my pearls.
Pearls?
Yes.
Pearls, too, huh? All right. Tell me about the pearls. You've had a murder and a beautiful mystery woman and a sadistic killer and a heroic rescue. Now we will have pearls.
I was to buy them back from the man called Waldo.
Well, I saw everything that came out of his pockets, and there weren't any pearls.
Could they be hidden in his apartment?
It's possible.
Waldo lived on the same floor you do in this apartment house.
And why didn't I know him, at least by sight?
He moved in last week. He managed to get a sublet.
Great, a sort of an amateur magician on the side, huh?
It's getting rather late.
Yeah. What about your husband this hot, mysterious night?
He's still at his meeting.
Well, you could have brought him along. You could have sat in the back seat working out a problem in hydroelectrics while...
While what?
Well, I didn't have any answers. They wouldn't sound cheap or just ridiculous or from the sophomore class in repartee. I had an unlit cigarette in my hand. I threw it out of the window. I took a hold of her and kissed her. She sat very still. I was shaking when I let go of her. Her voice trembled a little when she spoke.
I meant you to do that. I wasn't always that way. Only since Johnny Dalmas was killed in the war. He gave me those pearls. 41 of them perfectly matched with a diamond propeller clasp. I'd have loved them if they'd been wooden beads because he gave them to me. I love Johnny. The way you love just one time. You understand me?
What's your name?
Lola.
Lola, how did you explain a $15,000 pearl necklace to your husband?
I told him they were imitation, and I bought them myself.
How did Waldo latch onto them and what they stood for?
When my husband was in Argentina, Waldo and I'd go for long drives. I was restless and wretched because of Johnny. Sometimes Waldo and I had a little drink together, but that's all.
But you confided in Waldo about those pearls.
I was a fool.
And when your husband came back, Waldo stole the pearls and offered to sell them back to you, or he'd tell Papa.
I was a fool.
And now you think the pearls are upstairs in Waldo's apartment?
I suppose it's a lot to ask.
No, sweetheart. No. I've been paid. I'll go look. Wait here, huh? Was the gun along, Lola?
No. Well?
No.
No pearls?
No pearls.
Oh.
There was a man in Waldo's room.
A man? Who?
You know a man named Leon Balsanos?
Not by name. I don't know.
Mexican, South American, about 45, small, iron gray hair, very neat, fawn-colored suit, wine-colored tie.
No, I don't think I know such a man. Is he the one in Waldo's room?
Yeah.
What does he have to say?
Very little. In fact, nothing. He's dead. I sat with Lola Barsley in her car listening to that jittery, infuriating desert wind gallop around in the midnight streets. I just told her about the Latin-looking man I'd found in Waldo's room in a very dead condition. I held her hands until they stopped trembling. Then I gave her the few remaining details. He had a gun in a shoulder holster, but someone had strangled him before he could use it.
Someone? Waldo?
Maybe. You see that convertible coupe 2 cars ahead of us?
It's been there for hours. It was there before I parked here to wait for you.
Leon, the man in Waldo's room, came in that car, but according to the key containers he carried, that isn't his car.
Whose car is it? Does it matter?
Well, it belongs to a lady according to the tag on the keys.
A lady?
Well, anyway, a woman, if you're going to split hairs. Eugenie Kolchenko. In West Los Angeles?
Never heard of her.
Oh. All right, well, you go home now, huh?
What are you going to do?
Drive that flossy convertible around, wave at my friends, impress people. You run along now. Me, I've got another date.
Yes? What is it, please?
Miss Eugenie Kolchenko?
Yes? What is it?
Did you lose or misplace a pigeon gray convertible coupe?
What are you saying?
Now, don't be alarmed. I found it, and I brought it home to you.
Come in, please. It is a reward you wish. Shall we say...
Snap out of it, Dragon Lady. Who was he?
Who?
The little guy, Leon. You loaned your car to. He's dead. Who was he?
Oh, no.
Oh, yes.
Eugenie.
Darling, come here, please.
What's the matter, honey? Who is this man?
I came about Miss Kolchenko's car.
What about her car?
The gentleman who borrowed it couldn't return it on account of he isn't alive.
He's dead. Darling, he's dead.
Well, that's putting it more bluntly, of course.
Dead, huh?
Completely.
Who are you?
Philip Marlowe, private investigator. My card.
Mm-hmm. You told the police yet?
Never do at once what can be deferred pending negotiations. Aesop.
I might negotiate.
Oh, peachy.
What do you know, Marlowe?
A man named Waldo was shot in a bar tonight. I happened to have the inside as to who he was, and when I visited his apartment tonight, I found this Leo Balsanos dead.
He wouldn't have had $500 in 20s on him, would he?
No, but this Waldo had over $700 on him when he was killed at that cocktail bar, mostly in 20s.
Hmm.
Is there a basis there for negotiations yet?
Very well, Marlowe. I'm a married man. There were certain unpaid bills for some stuff Miss Kolchenko here had charged to my account.
But you told me I might charge to your account.
All right, so I wasn't very bright.
That might be the understatement of the decade, but go on.
I had the unpaid bill safely in my briefcase. Somehow this Waldo had a chance to steal the briefcase. I hired Leon and gave him $500 to buy back those bills from Waldo.
Instead, Waldo took Leon's dough and was forced to kill Leon in the process. And then he went out to keep another date and accidentally walked into an old pal hostile enough to blow him down.
And someone still has those bills. And I'm in for a divorce suit.
The man who shot Waldo got away in Waldo's car with your briefcase in it. Yeah, that could be. The cops caught him.
Oh. And the police have the briefcase.
Maybe. But the police are interested in solving crime, not in tossing mud for the benefit of sensation eaters. Look, I've got a friend or two at headquarters. Let me see what I can do.
It's worth $500 to me.
Well, then that's what it'll cost you.
Well, good luck. And, thank you, Mr.
Marlowe. Philip Marlowe, remember?
My name is Frank Barcelay.
Barcelay? Oh?
What does that mean?
The big hydroelectric engineer?
Yeah. How did you know?
My voices tell me.
Who?
Darling, this man is manifestly insane.
It's the heat, Miss Kolchenko. It's the Santa Ana. It's the desert wind. May I use your telephone? Someday I must tell you about Ibarra. Salt of the earth Ibarra, detective lieutenant over at Central Homicide. I phoned Ibarra from Miss Kolchenko's house and told him where he could find a well-dressed cadaver named Leon and furnished a few small details. I gave Ibarra time to check my tip, and then I went down to see the good lieutenant and told him why I'd been up in Waldo's room, only to find Leon instead of a certain lady's string of pearls.
Pearls, eh?
Well, I thought Waldo might have them up there.
Whose pearls were they?
A lady's.
Go on.
Or they might have been in Waldo's car that Waldo's killer drove away in.
Yeah.
What, yeah?
They might have.
Also a batch of unpaid bills charged to the account of a certain Frank Barcelay?
Yeah.
Uh-huh. Well, now, the police aren't interested in domestic scandal. They want to prevent or to solve crime, right?
So?
So I've got $500 for the police fund if those pearls and those bills are returned to their rightful owners.
Quit your kidding.
No, it's a valuable necklace.
Yeah? There's your necklace.
That's it. 41 pearls, perfectly matched diamond propeller clasp. That's it. That's the one.
Take it away, Morrow.
On the level?
Just tell me straight what it's all about, all I ask.
Sure. Well, this Waldo was blackmailing a wife with the pearls, and her husband with the bills, guy by the name of Barcelay. Well, Barcelay sent Leon to get the bills from Waldo. Instead, Waldo killed Leon, then stepped out and happened to get shot by that guy at the bar. Now, if Barcelay's name stays out of the paper, I get $500, and that goes to the police fund.
We'll keep him out.
Well, now, I'm not in this case for money. I just want to get back the bills and the pearls.
As you say, Morrow, the police aren't in business to sling mud.
Well, you can deliver the pearls to the lady yourself if you like. She lives at...
No, Morrow. You better take them to her. You see, except for the diamond propeller clasp on them, they're phony.
Phony? But...
All but the clasp, Marlowe. All but the clasp.
I stared at Ibarra. So the flyer, Johnny Dalmas, the great lover, had given Lola a string of fake pearls. Well, I didn't know how to tell her, but I called her up and told her to meet me at the Beachcombers at 2. I was going to slip her the bad news slowly.
I'm glad you asked me to meet you here, Mr. Marlowe. See, I had to have someone to talk to.
Go ahead. Go ahead, talk. I'm listening.
Now, Mr. Marlowe, now more than ever, I must have those pearls.
Why? Money trouble?
Oh, no. It's just that everything's gone wrong. And this morning, my husband told me we're to separate.
Oh, I'm sorry, Lola.
But if I had Johnny's pearls, it would be a link with the past and with Johnny and all he meant to me. It's how a woman feels, Mr. Marlowe. I wouldn't blame you for not understanding.
Maybe I do, though.
So please, Mr. Marlowe, please, you'll try to find my pearls.
Lola, look,
Even if it isn't all of them. Any part of them. Any single smallest one of them. It'll be Johnny's.
Look, will you meet me here again around 4 o'clock?
I'll be here.
Okay, I'll see what I can do. There was only one earthly decent thing I could do. I took Lola's glass pearls to a jeweler, and I had him take off the diamond clasp and put it on one of those strings of so-called simulated pearls that they sell you for $3, tax included. Then I went back to keep my 4 o'clock date with Lola at the Beachcombers.
Well, Mr. Marlowe, anything new?
Yes, the police found some pearls in Waldo's car.
They found my pearls?
No, not exactly.
Not exactly.
Well, Waldo was getting set to gyp you, Lola. He had the diamond clasp of your necklace attached to a string of cheap imitations. And then he sold the real pearls.
Oh, how... Oh.
These are the imitations here.
Yes. But it is my clasp. The clasp is real.
Is that all right?
Yes, it's the clasp that Johnny Dalmas gave me. Of course it's all right.
Oh, that's swell.
And thank you so much, Mr. Marlowe.
Forget it.
I won't. Not ever. Well, is this goodbye?
Yeah, I think so. You'll never get over Johnny Dalmas, Lola. If anybody ever bothers you again, though, well, let me know. Name's Philip Marlowe. I drove almost to Malibu, and then I parked and walked out on a rock cliff jutting into the Pacific Ocean. Then I reached in my pocket and dug out the string of Bohemian glass pearls that Lieutenant Ibarra had found in Waldo's car. I cut the knot at one end and slipped the pearls off one by one. One by one, I flipped them into the water. The gull swooped down on them and then flapped up again, screaming indignantly. The phony pearls had fooled Waldo and Lola Barsley, but they couldn't fool a seagull. I said to myself, to the memory of Johnny Dalmas, just another four-flusher. I listened a while to the wheeling seagulls. All at once I realized that the wind had died. The Santa Ana had blown itself out. The red wind was done. It was over.
Heard with Van Heflin was Lorene Tuttle as Lola Barsley. And this is Wendell Niles inviting you to listen again next week at this same time to another exciting story on The Adventures of Philip Marlowe, starring Van Heflin with a distinguished cast.
This is NBC, the National Broadcasting Company.
I'm focusing in on The Adventures of Philip Marlowe, the original series on NBC, and then later the one we're more familiar with, starring Gerald Moore on CBS. You've just heard the very first episode starring Van Heflin. Let's go back again to NBC and the summer of 1947.
For the safety of your smile, use Pepsodent twice a day. See your dentist twice a year. Lever Brothers Company presents the Pepsodent program, The Adventures of Philip Marlowe, starring Van Heflin. Philip Marlowe, the famous private detective of Murder My Sweet and The Lady in the Lake, created by Raymond Chandler, brought to you on the air by Pepsodent, and starring MGM's dynamic young actor, Van Heflin.
Hollywood after midnight is like any other city after midnight. Night moves in and the city becomes hushed and stealthy. The nightclubs close up one by one. But now and then the police whistle and the prowl car sirens serenade the sleeper. If you've got any cop in you at all, you get on edge and you have to get dressed and go out and walk it off to relax. Well, I was relaxing past the Swank Carlton Hotel on the Sunset Strip about 1 a.m. when all of a sudden, recess was over.
Hey, Marlowe. That you, Marlowe?
It was George Millar, the quiet-spoken night clerk of the Carlton, hailing me from the doorway, probably to Mucho Melacrino. No, I was wrong.
Hey, look, Marlowe, you're very busy right now?
Why, Millar, if I may be as cagey as all that?
We've got some trouble on the 8th floor.
Where's Curly, your fearless house dick?
Tonight he has to have a hangover.
What's the beef on floor 8?
King Leopardi. You know him?
King Leopardi? Oh, that's the sweetest trumpet this side of Gabriel. Is he attending here tonight?
He's in the corridor on the 8th floor, dressed in yellow pajamas and his trumpet. There's a girl with him, and they put him on a jam session.
Well, suppose the king rejects my diplomatic notes.
Well, get rough, but only if you have to.
Okay, thanks. But a guy with such an ear for music ought to listen to reason. All right, I'll be down 5 minutes, Millar.
King, that's all, boy.
Oh, South, mellow, King and yellow, more, Sereno, more.
I said, all right, King, the party's over. Hey!
Were you addressing me, peasant?
I said, wrap it up, can it? Put it on ice. The show is over.
Ah.
Conk him, King. King Kong, that's what he is, King Kong. Let him have it, King.
Fanfare to a nosy house dick, as follows.
All right, now look, Yellow Pants, wrap up your bugle and buzz off. Now hit the grit.
Oh, you're tougher than a 40-cent steak, aren't you? Well, this will make you soft and tender.
Here.
Atta boy, King. Hit him again for me.
All right, hit me with that trumpet, will you? Okay, King. Now, come on, get up, get dressed, and get out.
How can he? He's out cold.
I'll be glad to pack for him. And you get back to your room, too.
Listen, Copper, I don't have to do anything.
Get going, sister. Come on, jump. The door at room 815 was ajar. I went in and began tossing a lot of that yellow silk that the king liked so well into his suitcases. Something at the small desk stopped me. Tucked under the corner of the desk blotter was a note. It was assembled from words and letters cut out of newspapers and pasted on a telegraph blank. It said, 10 grand by Thursday night, Leopardi, or else. Her brother. I slipped the note in my pocket and went out in the corridor just as the king staggered past me into his room. I could get an infection from the dirty look he gave me as he slammed the door after him. The door 2 suites away opened a crack and then shut again very quickly. I went over and knocked.
Beat it, Copper.
I want to talk to you.
I don't want to hear from you.
Okay, here I come, sister. Ready or not?
I'll blow you down, so help me, I'll let you have it.
Lay that pistol down, babe. Come on,
Get out
come on.
before you pick up weight you didn't count on.
And what would the little girl be doing with a .25 automatic, I wonder?
A girl needs protection with insects like you around.
Look, what's your name?
Little Bo Peep.
Okay, but what does little boy blue with a horn mean to you?
I admire his work.
Do you know King Leopardi?
No.
Well, what are you doing in a place like this? I can tell you can't afford it. What's your angle?
I won a soap contest.
All right, baby. You want it that way?
What are you going to do?
I'm going to make a phone call. Won't cost you a nickel. Hello, desk. Millar, it's Marlowe. I'm calling for the lady in room 811. She's checking out. I had a little trouble up there, Millar. Your 2 noisy guests will be checking out any minute. Okay?
Oh, well, hate for things to happen on my shift.
Well, the king bopped me with his bugle, and the girl had a gun.
Gee, nice people.
Yeah, how come you put a floozy like that girl so close to the king?
Well, I didn't.
Another
Quillen,
thing.
the day man did.
Look, there was a receipt for rent to Miss Marilyn Delorme on the telephone table in her room.
Well, that wasn't the name she gave Quillen.
Apartment 211, Ridgeland Apartments, Cord Street, L.A. She lives right in town in a cheap neighborhood, but she checks in here at a price she can't afford and gives a phony name. Now, why? Why? Cord Street, where Marilyn DeLorme lived, was Old Town, Arty Town, Crook Town. It was afternoon when I got off the cogwheel car that climbs the steep hill to where the Ridgeland apartment sat on the top of Bunker Hill. I went up dim, dusty stairs to apartment 211, and I tapped on the door. There was no answer, so I tried the door. It was unlocked. The room inside was dim with stagnant gloom. Marilyn DeLorme was in. I didn't talk to her, though. I didn't think she'd want to make much conversation with those blue bruises about her throat where she'd been strangled. I got out of there fast, wiping off doorknobs like Uriah Heep polishing apples for his boss. I found King Leopardi at his job at the Club Belvedere. He was relaxing at a table in the bar with a kind of a girl commonly referred to as a knockout. She looked tall, and her hair was the color of a brush fire seen through clouds of dust. I pulled in my chin and then walked over to the table. Hello, Leopardi, old maestro. You remember me?
I'm sorry, I can't say that. Why, you dirty keyhole snooper.
King, please don't start anything again.
You left a certain little note in your hotel room last night.
Get out, time it doesn't.
That wasn't all. That dame with you last night.
I said beat it.
King, sit down.
Beat it and take this with you.
There's not much snap in that punch, King. Would you like to try it again?
I've had some drinks. I'll see you later when I'm okay. See you later, too, Dolores, after the floor show.
I'm sorry, Miss...
Sit down. You've made us conspicuous enough as it is.
Now, wait a minute.
Sit
Look,
down.
All right, thanks. Well, it's what I get for being a little gentleman and letting him pepper me without a comeback.
No, he's always spoiling for a fight.
The king just can't control his dukes, can he?
You better have a drink.
All right. Coke with bitters.
That's what I love about Hollywood. You meet so many eccentrics.
Yeah, but you see, I'm the kind of a guy who starts with a short beer and wakes up in Shanghai with a full beard. Is this on me or is it on you?
Well, that depends.
Well, how champagne? Mum's cordon rouge, shall we say, huh?
It's on you.
It's on me. Coke with bitters.
How did you get to know King Leopardi?
Oh, I just happened to throw him out of his hotel last night.
Oh, house detective, huh?
No. Filling in for a friend. Philip Marlowe, private investigator's the general tag.
Oh?
How did you happen to get to know the king?
I once sang in his band, but not for long.
Well, then, look, tell me, would it be hard for a woman to get to him?
Only if he was surrounded by a wall of fire.
If the woman had a gun?
Why?
Well, I found this threat note on his desk last night. It asked for $10,000 or else, and it's signed her brother.
Well?
Well?
Yes. A woman with a gun could get to him, and everybody would give her a great big hand.
Mm-hmm. Well, I'll skip that Coke and bitters and say good day. Thank you, Christabel.
The name is Dolores.
Oh, good afternoon, Miss Drury.
Chiozza. Dolores Chiozza.
Oh, Chiozza. Fare thee well, Miss Chiozza.
Formal, aren't you?
So long, Dolores.
So long, Philip. If I hear of anything, I'll toss it your way.
The evening papers carried a squib about Marilyn DeLorme found strangled in her Cord Street apartment. That was all, dead end. Until about 1 o'clock in the morning when the telephone started having hysterics on my night table. Yeah.
Philip, this is Dolores.
Dolores? Dolores? Oh, yeah, sure.
Will you come over to my place right away? 2412 Renfrew Street, below Fountain.
Hey, wait a minute.
It's a sort of bungalow court. Mine is the last one in line.
Well, sure, but wait a minute. What's the matter? Dolores, look, what's the matter?
King Leopardi is here, too.
King Leopardi?
He passed out of my den. It's absurd, isn't it?
Yeah, that's absurd. And it cost you $20.
All right, but hurry. Please hurry.
All right, I'll be right over. Phone calls in the dead of night. I should have been a midwife.
Oh, Come in, Philip. I'm sorry I woke you at this hour.
That's okay. I always get up around this time anyhow to take my bitters and answer phone calls. Where is he?
May I have a cigarette?
Sure.
Thanks.
Right. Where did you say it was, now?
In my den. Oh, Philip. Philip, he isn't drunk at all. Did you really think he was drunk? He's dead.
What?
The king is dead. Long live the... With my gun.
Well, good for you. Maybe wins the large Cupid dog. Hey, come on, let's go and look at him.
You are listening to The Adventures of Philip Marlowe, starring Van Heflin. Yes, families all over America have named their favorite toothpaste. New Pepsodent with invigorating Irium foam. New fresh-tasting Pepsodent with a new cool, minty flavor. It's preferred 3-to-1 over any other toothpaste.
It's true. Families all over America say new Pepsodent is their favorite 3-to-1.
The Paul A. Thompson family, Summer Street, Stamford, Connecticut, preferred new Pepsodent on every single count. The Thompsons say new Pepsodent tastes best of all, makes breath cleaner, makes teeth brighter. On all these counts, by an overwhelming average of 3-to-1, families prefer new Pepsodent over any other toothpaste they tried.
It's a fact. Families 3-to-1 say new Pepsodent tastes better, makes breath cleaner, and makes teeth brighter.
Remember, this is not just our opinion. It's the honest conviction of the Thompsons and other families who compared new Pepsodent with the toothpaste they were using at home. Get new Pepsodent, the only toothpaste containing Irium. Get it for your family without delay. We continue with The Adventures of Philip Marlowe, starring Van Heflin, who appears by arrangement with Metro-Goldwyn-Mayer. Producers of The Huckster, starring Clark Gable.
Dolores showed me to the den in the back of the house. Trumpet man King Leopardi was lying on the studio couch, large, smooth, and artificial-looking even in death. A small Mauser automatic hung loosely in his right hand. There was a bullet hole in his golden-yellow sport coat, right over his heart. Dolores, is this your gun?
Yes. Someone gave it to me once. I don't even know how to use it.
Oh, no.
Oh, I don't expect you or anyone to believe me.
Don't expect anything. Just tell it.
Well, I was out late. I sang at KFQC on a late 15-minute program. Agatha and I got home about 11:30.
Who's Agatha, the cat?
My maid. I came into the den for some liquor and fizz water and found him. Like that. I sent Agatha home so she wouldn't find him. Finally, I thought of calling you.
Well, he got in here. How?
I don't know.
Were you ever in love with him?
The king never loved anyone.
I asked if you loved him.
I hated everything about him.
It's even better to tell the cops that is, but copacetic.
But I can't help it. It's the truth.
Dolores, look. Go on out in the other room and buy yourself a drink. I want to be alone here with tall, dead, and handsome. Go on now, huh? After Dolores had taken her white face out of that room, I could work better. I went through the king's pocket and found his key ring. One key fit very nicely in the lock of the back door. I went to the living room where Dolores was huddled against the arm of the Davenport trying to become a part of the pattern. Dolores, how long has Agatha been with you?
2 years.
Did she ever steal anything from you?
Small things, that's all. There are nylons now and then. I didn't mind why.
Well, she sold a key to somebody. A key to this apartment.
Oh, what's the difference, Philip? We're wasting time. I'm done for as a nice person. They'll think it was a lover's quarrel and I shot him. Or that he shot himself over me.
Well, you don't die from the latter, though.
Your reputation does. And I care about what people think of me.
Yeah. Well, that's what makes me for you again, lady.
Thanks, Philip.
Now, let's suppose you give me a description of Agatha and tell me where she lives. I want to talk to her. Tonight. I drove down Brighton Avenue looking for the house Dolores had described to me. All at once, I slammed on my brakes. In the driveway of a vacant house stood a small coupe. Dolores had described Agatha's car, and that was it. And Agatha did not live in an empty house. I got out and walked up the gravel driveway and looked into the car. And then I got back in my own car and drove until I found an all-night drugstore. I phoned Detective Lieutenant Ibarra. Hello, Ibarra. Write this down. Brighton Avenue, 3200 block, west side. Driveway of empty house. Car parked with dead woman in it. When alive, answered to the name of Agatha. Strangled. I went back to the Carlton Hotel where it all started the night before. Quillen, the head day clerk, was on night duty. That surprised me a little bit. It was 2 a.m. and very empty, very quiet in the lobby. It was fine.
Well, if it isn't Marlowe, the old cruise man. Good morning, and tripe like that.
Hello, Quillen. Look, how come you're on duty?
Millar went on vacation this a.m. His brother has a cabin at Crestline on the Arrowhead Road.
Oh, I didn't even know he had a brother.
Now you know.
Quillen, look, how come an old hotel man like you registers floozies like that Marilyn Delorme on the same floor with people like King Leopardi?
What?
You heard me, mine host.
I didn't register the girl or Leopardi. Millar did.
What?
You heard me.
Well, why was the room between their rooms empty last night in times like these?
Well, Millar had it marked on change. Plumbing out of whack or something. Why?
Oh. Well, here's why. A lad with a pass key could have gone into that room and then unlocked the two connecting doors. And then you could have run a bus service between the girls' room and Leopardi's.
What are you driving at?
That girl in 811 had a gun and Leopardi had a threat letter last night. Now, here's what I want you to do. Call the hotel where Leopardi's staying now and ask if he's there.
Why?
Because. Good enough?
Best reason in the world. Wife always uses it. Wait here.
In about 3 minutes, Quillen came back and leaned on the counter again.
Leopardi isn't there. I talked to a guy in his suite who was almost sober. He said Leopardi got a call about 11 from some girl.
What girl?
Well, he didn't know. But Leopardi went out preening himself.
Okay, thanks, Quillen.
Anything to do with that brawl you had with Leopardi here last night?
No, all in the spirit of boyish mayhem.
Ah, that 815 has a jinx on it, you know. Girl shot herself there 2 years ago.
What?
A girl shot herself there.
Yeah, you said that, but what girl?
I don't know what her real name was.
Look here, Quillen. I want to see your hotel files of that day 2 years ago and all the newspaper clippings about it. Come on.
All right. Let go of my arm physical culture. I'll get the keys to the record room.
I read the hotel files of that day 2 years ago, and I read the newspaper clippings of that suicide in 815. Then I asked Quillen just where George Millar's brother had his cabin in the mountains. It was just getting light when I pulled up at the cabin, high against a growth of dagger pine and cedar. Smoke was curling from the chimney. Someone was awake. George Millar himself opened the door.
Oh, Marlowe. Oh, gee, it's good to see you. How'd you ever find us up here? How about some bacon and eggs?
The answer in my brief Marlowe morning manner is yes.
Oh, that's swell. I'll wake up my brother and we'll all eat together, huh?
You don't have to wake me up. I'm up.
Oh, hello, Gareth.
Who's your friend, George?
Gaff, this is Philip Marlowe. You've heard me talk of him.
Hiya, Marlowe.
Gaff Talley. That the name?
Yeah, my brother. That's his fighting name. He used to be a heavyweight boxer.
Fighter. Boxers dance. Fighters fight.
Let's get coffee started, huh? Marlowe's hungry.
Say, I've had a busy night. King Leopardi's been bumped off.
Bumped off?
Lowbrow for kill. Vernacular for murder. The king is dead.
Where? How?
In a girl's apartment. Nice girl, too. The old suicide gag. But it could ruin the girl.
Oh, gee, that's lousy. Huh?
Yeah. Yeah, but it won't work. It was murder.
What makes you think it was murder?
Well, Gaff, the way I cased the job, the kill was supposed to have been pulled in his room 8:15 at the Carlton Hotel night before last.
Is that a fact now?
Yeah. I spoiled it by giving the king the merry heave-ho before the girl in 811 could get to him. Didn't I, George?
I guess you did, Marlowe.
Yeah. Of course, it would have been poetic justice if King Leopardi had been killed in the same room where a girl committed suicide 2 years ago, registered as Mary Smith. Usual name, Eve Talley. Did you hear that, Gaff Talley? Eve Talley.
I heard it, Marlowe. So he had a sister named Eve, shot herself in 8:15 at the Carlton. So what?
So, George here told me that Quillen registered that professional gun girl in 8:15 night before last. Oh, no. George registered her.
So?
So George kept the room between the girl and Leopardi vacant. When everything was quiet, he had opened the communicating doors, and Marilyn DeLorme would walk into the king's room, muffle her .25 in a pillow, and shoot the king in his sleep. How am I doing, boys?
Fine, Marlowe. How am I doing?
Gaff, put away that gun.
I'll bet you even checked on 118 Cord Street.
Mm-hmm. I found Marilyn DeLorme strangled. She knew too much. For a few bucks, you boys got Agatha to call Leopardi last night from the radio station, pretend she was Dolores, with an interesting invitation. The king always had a yen for Dolores, and he came running. You shot the king before Dolores came home and left him in her den. Then Gaff got rid of Agatha. She knew too much, too.
Leopardi was the worst kind of a rat, Marlowe. We loved our sister. She fell for him, and he threw her out. She killed us. Now, what would you do, Marlowe?
Take his gun, George. Don't get between us or behind him. His .45 goes right on through.
I'll have to take your gun, Marlowe.
Well, always treat it like your own, won't you, George?
Got it, George?
I got it.
Stand out of the way.
Does it have to be this way, Gaff?
Yeah, it has to be this way.
Sure, George and Gaff, the avengers of innocent girlhood in their righteous indignation.
Shut up, Marlowe.
Lynch mobs, tar and feather merchants, and other laws unto themselves take notice. George and Gaff, they wrote the book.
Say your prayers, big mouth.
Hey, Gaff, there's been enough killing.
Get out of
No,
the way.
Gaff, I won't.
I swear I'll let you have
No,
it, too.
Gaff!
I'm warning you.
Goodbye, Gaff. I'm sorry, Gaff. I had to do it.
George, he's dead.
Listen, I had to do it, Gaff. I just had to. You understand, don't you, Marlowe? He was a killer. He killed 3 people. He wasn't going to kill a 4th. I wanted to finish Leopardi out in the open and take what came, but Gaff tried to do it and shoot him. I didn't know Leopardi was dead until you told me, Marlowe.
I believe you, George.
Yeah. Here's your gun back, Marlowe. It shoots fine.
I put in a big pitch for George at headquarters. After all, he hadn't killed anybody except Gaff, and that was in self-defense and in defense of an unofficial copper named Marlowe. He won't get off scot-free, but he won't inhale cyanide either at the taxpayer's expense. After I talked to Ibarra at headquarters, I telephoned Dolores Chiosa. I didn't give her the sordid details, but just told her not to worry, that she was in the clear.
Philip. Oh, thank you, Philip. I'm so relieved. I'm so grateful.
I'm so thirsty.
Well, come on over then.
Hey, wait a minute. Now, is this fiesta on you or is it on me?
Why?
Well, I mean, do I drink Coke and Betters or Cordon Rouge?
It's on me.
All right, then, champagne it is, baby. But look, let me bring the glasses, huh?
Tonight's story was adapted by Milton Geiger from The King in Yellow by Raymond Chandler, creator of Philip Marlowe, the screen's most famous private detective. The original music was composed and conducted by Lynn Murray. This is Wendell Niles inviting you to listen again next week at the same time to another exciting mystery on the adventures of Philip Marlowe, starring Van Heflin with a distinguished cast.
This is NBC, the National Broadcasting Company.
That's it for this week. I'm Dennis Daly. Thanks for listening. And join me for more saluting the adventures of Philip Marlowe.